Samantha from Samantha's Designs. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a Pinterest inspired card based on this pen in my on my Pinterest board. So the biggest thing is that I want to do the blended background, and I'm using fossilized amber and spice marmalade. I got a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheet of paper, and I'm going to use my sponge daubers to do my blending today. I am using Tim Holtz's watercolor paper on the smooth side. I've heard people talk about how great this paper is for doing blending, and so I'm trying it out, and it really does. It's amazing. What can I say? I did not hold back with this blending. I'm just going to be honest with you. I saturated this paper pretty well. And I was okay with that. So I saturated the paper really well with the fossilized amber here, and then on the other side I am going to do the spice marmalade. Now a lot of people will do 2, 3, 4 colors. Well, I should say 3, 4, 5, whatever. People do rainbows and whatever. I'm not comfortable doing that. I feel like if I get a blend that's decent with 2 colors, not to push it. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm scared of the 3 color blend. I don't know if it's because I just don't feel like I blend really well, or I'm scared to pick what colors. And I know you can look online and see which ones to blend and what it'll look like, but I'm just scared of it. I don't know. So here I am, just putting on the spice marmalade on the other part of this paper on the other side, and then I'll go back a little bit between the 2 colors down the middle just to kind of make sure the blend is really decent. And then I'm going to cut this down. I am using a white card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I end up matting everything on a piece of orange cardstock that is at that same measurement. So what I end up doing is both the panels that I have, I'm going to cut this down. It's only going to cover about half of my cardstock. So I would say it's probably 4 by I think 3 1/2, and then I'm going to cut a piece of white cardstock that's going to have my sentiment, and it's going to be the same thing. And I just go back and forth. I'm just trying to get it down to the size that I want to, but I don't want it to take too much off of one color, which in the end doesn't make a difference because I made a boo-boo, and I didn't realize it when I made the card. But it looks fine. It looks cute. I'm very happy with the results, so no worries. All those pieces over there on the side that I'm keeping from this little panel, I am going to use and make a bonus card. So just stay tuned. Probably in the next few days you'll see that on my Instagram channel, where I'll just take the leftover scraps and use that to make a card. So see, that is completely too wide, so I'm cutting a little bit more off, and then I've got to get the width correct, and I really wanted it 4. I know that's my favorite. And I'm, of course, making sure it looks great. In the end, I still screw this up, people. I still screw it up. That's okay. Then I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock. This is 80-pound cardstock Recollections. The card base is actually 110 Recollections. And I'm cutting it the same width, about the same height as well. And I'm just going to use that white to cover part of that blend. And yeah, I like that. I think it looks really good. I'm just kind of checking it out and going, yeah. Kind of reminds me of a candy corn, doesn't it, with the orange, the yellow on top. But again, I don't do it correctly. Okay, I'm going to take this Lawn Fawn Scripty Sentiment pack that I have here. I've had this for a long time, and I'm using the Thinking About You sentiment. I'm going to use one of my longer acrylic blocks. I'm not going to use my stamping platform today. I'm just going to use that acrylic block, make sure it's lined up pretty well. And then I'm going to stamp this in my favorite black ink, the one I use all the time, and that's Memento Tuxedo Black. You guys know that. That's my favorite. It's my go-to black, and I use it for everything. Now, I don't need to ink up this whole thing because it's not going to fit on it, so I'm going to get that piece of cardstock there to kind of get all the ink that doesn't land on the card. And I do this at the top portion of that white. Here's that orange cardstock that I was going to use. Again, same same size as the card base itself. I'm using my Elmer's Blonde Elmer's Craft Bond Elmer's glue. I can't speak again today. I get so tongue tied when I get up here. And I just line it up with my card. Okay, here is where I mess up. I take my blended background because I'm going to put that down next. And I put the orange portion up, not the yellow, the orange. So guess what? The yellow gets covered up. I forgot to put the orange facing up. The yellow facing up so that you can see a little bit of the actual blend. But that's okay. It's still cute. And then I'm taking my next panel, lining that up with the Thinking of You sentiment. And then I have some pumpkins that are die cut here. Very simple. They're in Recollections in an ivory off-white color. I had those cut out from another project I did. If you've seen my Instagram, you have seen it more than likely. And it's also up here on YouTube on my reels. It's the sequin pumpkins. I use the negative space and put a bunch of orange sequins behind it. I'm going to pop this up on some adhesive foam. This is really flat. This is the Jot that I get from Dollar Tree. I really like it. It's not too thick. And I am going to pop these three up. I'm going to put this piece of foam on one side because it's going to overlap a little bit my pumpkins. So I'm going to use a little bit of glue to adhere it to the other pumpkin, and then I'll have that same adhesive on the other side just so it's all the same height. And I'm going to do the same over here. Guys, I hope you are enjoying my content. I wish you would think about subscribing if you're not a subscriber. Please give me a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me comments. I love comments. I would love that. So here I'm kind of deciding something it needs something. So I went with my gems that are right there on my desk. I have some multicolored gems, and the orange ones is what I decided to go with. I do use an odd number because that's typically what's the most pleasing to the eye. One thing I will tell you, you don't see it in this card because the glue hadn't dried yet, but if you use glue with on a distressed Oxide background, if you don't, when your glue dries and you've moved that gem any at all, it's going to leave a little spot, makes it look wet. Get a little wet. So just know that. So I'm using my it's called a quick stick or quick gem by Silhouette. I picked this up. I've had it pick me up. That's what it's called. I've had this for a long time, and that's kind of what I use to put my gems on. I don't feel like I'm very good with it. It's a little bogglesome, I think, a little bit. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the card. I hope this inspired you today. Go check out your Pinterest board. Check out my Pinterest board. Find something that inspires you. Make a card. Have fun. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.